Hey everybody, Mrs. Bodechon here. So today we are doing lots of science experiments with dry ice, which is just carbon dioxide or frozen CO2. So this is what it looks like. It looks like a white solid. Is it extremely cold solid? This is not an ice cube like water, you guys. This is going to be carbon dioxide, okay? So something completely different. So what I've done here is we are making this sublimate. We have put it in some warm water in just a beaker, and you can see that it is changing from that solid state directly into a gaseous state. So it is skipping the liquid phase altogether. So that smoke or that fog that you're seeing is the sublimation that's occurring of carbon dioxide in its gaseous state. Now, I put some dry ice in a bucket with some warm water to sublimate out and create the fog. And I'm blowing some bubbles, and you can see that the bubbles will land on top of the fog layer because the bubbles are less dense because of the air that's inside of them. So air is less dense than the carbon dioxide fog. So the carbon dioxide fog will be more dense and sink down, and the bubbles will be less dense and float on top. Okay, the next one we're gonna do, we're gonna have a flask and we're gonna hook it up to a rubber tube of some sort. And then I put a funnel at the end. So just make sure it's secure and that a whole lot of air cannot escape out. I'm gonna go ahead and drop one of the chunks of dry ice straight down into the flask. We're gonna add some warm water to this so we can get some sublimation action happening a lot faster. And all of that fog is going to be coming out the top. Well, I'm going to put my hand over it to seal it. You can also use a cork if you have one, that works fine too. And all of the fog will be going through the tube and out through the funnel. So I just filled up a tin with some water and Dawn liquid soap, and then I put the funnel directly into it to start forming a bubble with that carbon dioxide fog that is being created and shoved through the tube. And here is our wonderful bubble. And it's going to fall eventually, and we can see all of the carbon dioxide fog burst open, and it will spill out, showing us that the fog is indeed more dense than air because it will stay low to the ground as it rolls out. Try this one time with gloves on, you guys, and you can actually catch the bubbles in your hands and they will not pop. And then you can try to like throw them up in the air or catch them when they fall, and see if you can do it without making them pop. It's a pretty fun way to do things. All right, the next experiment that we're gonna do is always the one that I like to do last. And I like this one because it's so interactive with my students. So what I do is I go ahead and I get a beaker. You can make a large of one if you want, but I just go with a pretty standard size beaker so that I can be able to pass it around and move it around the classroom readily. Put some of your dry ice at the bottom. Put some nice hot water in there. You can see how fast this is sublimating. And then go ahead and drip some Dawn liquid soap in there. It will create bubbles very, very quickly. And your students can kind of get in line and they can grab up these bubbles. And if you squeeze them and if you pop these bubbles, you can see that you have that carbon dioxide fog in there. So it's just really cool to play with. Very, very fun interactive experiment here that's safe to handle. I do tell my students not to grab down inside the beaker or get close to the carbon dioxide piece of solid that's in there. So they just keep their hands on the outside of the beaker just for lab safety. But this is awesome and the students love it. I highly recommend ending with this because it does get a little bit messy, and then you can just have everybody wash their hands when they're done because they're gonna just be a little bit soapy. But this one is a lot of fun, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you all for watching. I'll see y'all next time. Bye, everybody.